I've been going to church here for a long time. I think I was 23, so it's been about 13 years. And that was a big move for me, but I was saved when I was older. I was 19. I didn't grow up in a Christian home, but the Lord was merciful, and He brought people into my life as a child that still gave me a glimpse of what a Christian life was meant to be. My stepmother had her mom in Canton. I remember my sister and I, when we would go to visit her family. We call her Grandma Robinson, and she would take us to church. And so I had only been to church a couple of times, but I knew what it was like to feel God's love. And even though I didn't grow up in a church, I still had, it felt like a calling in my spirit that God was there. And my life was starting to head down a wrong path. And when I was 16, I found out I was having a baby and I wasn't married. But the Lord brought a pastor and his wife into my life just at the right time. I didn't have a lot of family support, but they were able to help me through the adoption process. And I just remember for months afterwards, Mrs. Harrison, the pastor's wife, would call and constantly ask me to go to church. And I wasn't interested at first, because I think a big part of it is I just felt guilty and ashamed, and I didn't feel like I deserved God's love at that point. But finally, just to get her to stop asking me, I finally went to church. And you know, it took me a long time. I started to go when I was 17 years old, and I got saved when I was 19, so it was a long haul. But once I was in church, I felt like that was where I belonged, and I just got so involved, and I taught, even though I wasn't saved. It was kind of sad that they had me as a teacher, and I was involved with the youth group and the women's newsletter, and just everything that I could get involved with at that church I did. And then, I met someone, and I started coming here to Gethsemane Church, and it just, God has brought me through a lot of trials, and He's blessed me immensely. And even though I gave my life to Him when I was 19, I was starting to slide down the wrong path again, and a lot of it was because of the church I was in was liberal, and they were getting more so. And so I started excusing myself for behaviors that I knew was against what God wanted for me. And I started to come to church here, and there was like a renewed desire for me to grow in the Lord. And I started to read my Bible and pray more, and I actually started to come to church more often. Because after I got saved, I stopped going to church as regularly. I stopped Wednesday night service and then Sunday night service, and then eventually it came to a point where I might go to church, one Sunday morning a month. But coming here, I had that renewed interest in learning more about the Lord, and He worked His Spirit within me, and I had that new desire to serve Him. And so I had, there was several times on the altar rededicating my life, but He put that desire for me to go to a Christian college in my heart. And even though I was older, I was 23 when I went down to Pensacola, God really used that time for me to grow and learn more about Him. And I'm just so thankful. He's had His hand in every step of my life, and I'm thankful. I didn't have a mom growing up, but I finally came to the point where I was thankful that I didn't have her, because I was able to trust in God more, and I didn't have a strong Christian father. But because of that, I was able to trust God more, and He's been able to bring me through some trials in my life, but He's given me so many blessings with my husband Brent and my daughter Hannah, and now we have a new baby on the way, and I'm just amazed every day by the blessings that He's given to me in my life, and I just know that there's so much more to come. And I'm thankful for our Christian home now, and I'm thankful for our Christian friends and our church here, because I just know that God used all those elements in my life to bring me to the type of Christian I am today, so that I could be a worker for Him. So I just love the Lord, and I'm thankful that I get this opportunity to share my testimony.